house, I see green, all over. It's like a residual, yeah, it worries me, but it's so much fun, I'm not gonna
You like stare at the sun too long.
I take the Oculus off and I feel like I've got a sunburn because I've been on a tropical island for the last hour or so in the hot sun. I do try to chip into the shade of the palm trees occasionally, but
On purpose.
yeah, you can feel it. Oh, it's so much cooler here. So I think there is a greenest thing. I have a great deal of difficulty knowing what that greenest thing is.
Definitely would not recommend doing drugs by yourself if it's not, well, that was like in a procedure, and they gave me, what's it called? A thing to calm me down too, because it was crazy. Sedative, thank you. But I would not recommend doing anything by yourself.
Real quick, you said there is a greenest. You can agree that there's a greenest thing, but you can also agree that you would have a lot of difficulty knowing what the greenest thing is. So you're saying God is the thing that cannot, God is which?
That than which nothing greater can be conceived. So I can conceive of all kinds of things, but none of those come close.
What if the green is different for everybody? Like the brightest green is different for everybody, or the biggest thing is different, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
and I just picked green.
humans?
It could
I
be
know, I
blue.
mean, yeah, that's what
Anywhere.
we're talking about green right now,
Maybe
so.
anywhere.
Humans can't even
But like-
perceive all of the colors in the world, so
That's what I'm saying. That's
There's a
why I
green
saw that
thing,
type of
but
green when I
we'll
learned
never
how to
be able
take
to
the
see
typing
it.
procedure.
So I'm guessing that if multiple people perceive or conceive something as the greatest thing, God is greater than all of those things, not just the individual's conception of what is the greatest thing.
Right. And
So-
for some folks, though, well, I shouldn't interrupt. Go ahead. Because you have a thought still.
So if multiple people perceive something as the greatest green, then the actual greatest green would be something that is greener than all of those things, not just an individual's conception of what is the greenest thing. To put it into like that kind of.
You could get into a greenologist. You could become a greenologist, and, like a theologist, right? Theo, the study of God. And so, you have all these, it's a science, by the way. When people say only science gives us truth, I'm like, well, theology is a science, just like, so, yes.
what about people that are colorblind?
Well, they're out of the argument.
I think that they could maybe see it when they're dreaming.
So how would they know what the color green looks like if they've never seen?
That's
the
actually a
color
good
green?
question. How would you know what God looks
I
like
think
if you've
I've
never
read-
seen God?
Any of you know Professor Raymond? He has that problem, and we torment him all the time.
About being colorblind?
Yes.
15%.
He'll come out, with oh, that's a nice pink shirt. And you're like, what? He doesn't know what color his shirt is. It's me.
That's funny, actually.
Raymond Anthony.
Does he
Fantastic
I'm not sure.
person, by the way.
Does he wear the special glasses that they've been?
I don't know. He has special
Does
glasses.
anybody in here dream in black and white? Because there's still a percentage of people that dream in black and white.
Well, some of the time. I can dream in color as well. It depends on which TV show I'm watching.
You're the coolest person I've met. I have not met a person that dreams in black and white still.
I
So, that's
love
awesome.
Lucy. The Beverly Hills Hillbilly. Beverly Hills Hillbilly.
Hillbillies.
Hillbillies. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good. It's all in here. It doesn't leave. It stays in there.
My dreams are more like feelings, and like they feel like memories.
Deja vu.
Yeah, it's weird. So I
Mine
don't
are
even
just-
think I dream in
Deja vu
colors.
all over again.
Yeah.
Mine are just like dim. You can't like low exposure.
You just don't remember, like, do you know? Like, it's kind of hard to tell if you are.
I used to play a lot of like horror video games, so I would dream all the time of like horror scenes. So they were like kind of diluted and dark, but of like a calm feeling though, because I love video games.
So did you agree with me that Beverly Hills Chihuahua is a horror movie? Or not?
I think,
Anything is horrifying if you give it the right lens.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, woof. You know?
Yeah, if I think about it too
Ah.
much.
What a hunk of Chihuahua.
What? What? Excuse me. What?
That doesn't sound like the kind of people to be.
But we can, I asked about pizza. Of course, the whole point is God, and Anselm, you can check, he never once mentions pizza, even though he's Italian. I don't think they have pizza yet.
They had blueberry, or no, grapes, sorry.
The largest grape.
The largest grape.
How about this one though? This one should send shivers up your spine.
Wine, largest
Good.
wine glass.
That than which nothing worse can be conceived.
I'm guessing that's Satan.
Voila. Doesn't it seem like it ought to work for that as well?
I feel like it's weird because you're assuming that something can be conceived. Like, you're assuming that you can conceive something out of nothing.
Before there were humans that could speak and think about math, was 2 plus 2 4?
Yes, but that's like, I more mean, it's like you can think about yourself and what kind of things you are, but before you are you, you can't think about yourself. So before there were people that could think like humans can think, was there a God? Because nothing could be conceived.
Let's go back to Augustine for a moment. Augustine is faced with the dilemma of looking at God evolving in the scripture, and in fact still evolving through the New Testament, and still evolving even in his own day because of the conflicts in Rome that he was dealing with, right? And the issue comes up. Well, is God evil? Is God capable of such horrible things? All these different questions that you could come up with. And his point is to think about time. And when he talks about time, let's see if I have, did I already put it up here? Maybe not. But I have it. Maybe if I just ask about time, see what happens. Okay, so this isn't Augustine himself, but it's an abstract of it. Basically, he's going to tell us that when I think about time, I know a long time, a short time. I know it's right now. I know that I've only got 5 minutes left to kind of discuss this, right? But at the same time, I've got this conception of time, and at the same time, when someone asks me, what is time, I'm stuck, he says, because he doesn't know, right? What is time? He comes up with well, I know that if there isn't a past time, there must be a past time, but all I can conceive of is a present notion of the past. And future, if there's no future time, well, that's terrible. But all of my conceptions of the future are present conception of the future. So all that really exists is now. But actually there's a problem with that, right? Because is it still now? No.
No,
This is now.
'Cause it's now.
yeah.
But now
Because
is
now
now.
back then.
No, notice we're having problems. Time, here I'm gonna sing again, sorry. Time keeps on slipping into the future, you know?
Yeah.
You know, okay, on the count of 3, everybody grab the moment and hold it so we can look at it. Ready? 1. Okay, it doesn't work, right? And you know it already.
I was ready.
You were ready?
I was ready.
I quit, and I should have. Okay, ready? Try again.
Okay, ready?
1, 2, 2.5,
Oh.
3.
3. I got it.
It slipped out of your fingers.
No, I'm gonna put it in my bag so it doesn't slip out of my fingers.
Okay.
If
So,
you wanna do that,
so-
quick, okay, never mind. You know the jar thing where if you fart in a jar, you could do that and you can save that, your time, the time for of your fart, you can save that.
It's like hard.
That's not a moment.
Do you save your farts?
No, I just did it on video, so I might do it in like,
I mean, like it's a fun experiment.
yeah, give it
It's
time.
a fun
Time
experiment.
Thank you.
So like people
It's
sell their
it's so
farts.
much more sophisticated than people were when I was a kid.
So you're saying it's like that, like traveling arrow paradox where an arrow never hits its target because it keeps going halfway. and
Oh, we
halfway
have
and
that
halfway.
trouble too. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so we can't quite grasp it for the same reason that Plato couldn't quite grasp the full idea, because we're finite human beings. God, on the other hand, is eternal, outside of all creation. When people ask the question, what was God doing before he made everything? Augustine says, it's not that he was making hell for people who ask such questions. It's not saying that, but it's still funny, right? But God is going to have made time along with the creation of the universe. Time is a feature of the universe. And God is outside of time. He made time too. So God's not captured by time. So if you're trying to think, what is God and how can we understand God and so on and so forth, remember, we're finite human beings and we're constantly trapped in this moment. And so all the things that happen between us and God, between us and the universe, because by the way, even if you say there is no God, well, there is a universe, and basically the difference between an atheist and a theist or a deist doesn't seem very different, really. So the real issue is whatever made, and the reason that this universe is here definitely is the case. I mean, you can't deny that there's a universe. And if you think, well, there must have been a reason for the universe to be here, even though we can't think of what it was,
Why isn't there any scientific proof of God?
well,
Because we can conceive science.
what if I suggest that this very argument is such a proof? An ontological argument. Isn't it a
Doesn't
proof?
sound very scientific to me.
Oh. Well, I mean, if you're ontos, by the way, means the idea of the thing or the definition. So the ontological is the argument from the definition of God. And so this is scientific, it's logical, arguing that from the idea of God, it must be the case that God exists. So you can do 2 quiz questions, and that actually will be nice, because then you'll be at the same pace as my other online class. But remember it, because we didn't meet except once the first week. I've always been like half a week behind in this class. So that'll be nice, actually.
What's the second one?
So the second one is,
Our biggest pizza?
yes, is there a largest pizza?
What's your favorite?
None.
Pineapple chicken. You gotta try out the ranch at first and see if they'll change your mind.
I used to work at Pizza Man, so like, I would eat pizza for lunch like every single day. It was disgusting.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You see where we're going with this. This is faith seeking understanding. You have to believe in order to understand.